Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here with another flight test of the Flying 3D X6 Plus, the FPV model. There's a couple things I want to do today. First off, I want to, people have been noticing, well, people have been commenting on the low power provided from the stock battery that comes with it. This is the battery. Let me make sure I got the right battery in hand. I do. This is the stock battery. It's 1,000 milliamp hour, 7.4 volt, 20C, 70/30/60, which means 7 millimeters thickness, 30 millimeters length, and 30 millimeters width, and 60 millimeters length. With that in mind, it has 1,000 milliamp hour. But you can also use, and people notice this, the battery that comes with the Tarantula X6, which is it's a bigger battery for one thing. It's 1,200 milliamp hour, 30C, which means it can provide a lot more amperage if needed. It's a bit thicker. It says it's 80/30/63, which means 8 millimeters thickness. I think that's, just a rough estimate of its thickness because I think it's thicker than 8. It's 30 millimeters in width and 63 millimeters in length. But it does fit inside my Flying 3D X6, and we are actually going to use this battery today. I might do a second flight with this if I don't accomplish everything I do in the first flight here. But we are going to use the Tarantula X6 battery. Now, why would you want to use it? Again, it gives you a lot more power, a lot more flight time. I'm hearing estimates of up to 7 minutes of flight time versus 4 minutes with the stock battery. And another thing is, this thing is dirt cheap. Since there's so many tarantulas out there, this is only about $6 with free shipping. So you can keep flying all day. If you buy yourself one of these Flying 3D X6s, you want to get yourself several of these Tarantula batteries for $6 each. So let's put it in the quadcopter. Make sure it fits, and I want to demonstrate that it does fit. I did this at home, and it did fit. And it fits nicely, it's a little bit snug. And we'll go out in the field here. And the second thing I want to do today is, I am going to be flying in GPS mode. Some people have been wondering how this performs in the wind. We have a wind today. Other people wanted me to confirm that I am actually seeing increased range from this quadcopter with the software upgrade that I've done to it. The stock range of this is about 250 meters, but if you do a simple software upgrade to the quadcopter, and I think that software upgrade might shut off the telemetry, is what it does to reduce interference, radio interference. You're supposed to be able to get 800 meters out of this thing. Now, I'm not going to go flying 800 meters, but I am going to go into GPS mode today and take it out to at least 300 meters. There's not another airfield, but there's another dry lake on the other end of these bushes here, and a road over there. And if I can reach that road, that's 300 meters. And I'm going to try to drive that road back or follow that road back via FPV. So we'll see if I maintain FPV video and also have control range of the quadcopter at 300 meters. If I do fly out while in GPS mode, this is supposed to fly back to me, so I shouldn't have to worry about flying out of range. And if I lose video while out there, all I got to do is hit return to land, and it'll also come back to me. So that's what I'm going to attempt today. So I hope you enjoy this flight. It should be really interesting. I hope it works out well. Okay, the quadcopter has sufficient satellites, got green blinking light. I'm turning on my FPV screen right now. I can see with FPV. I am going to fly out over those bushes and look for that road and that other dry lake bed. And also I'm going to start the timer at 4 minutes. The idea being I'm going to start heading back at 4 minutes. No longer than 4 minutes am I going to be flying. And away we go. I'm in GPS mode. No, I'm in altitude hold mode. No, I'm in GPS mode. Let's move it over here a bit. First off, I want to see how stable the GPS is. We have a wind coming from off in the distance here in that direction there. And I want to see if it can stabilize itself against the wind. And it appears that it can. I'm going up a little bit higher. And again, I'm going to be strictly flying in GPS mode. And I'm going to go looking for that road and that dry lake bed. Now, you don't want to fly too fast in GPS mode. If you want to fly fast, you want to go in altitude hold mode. The reason, again, I'm in GPS mode is if I would lose control, fly out of range of this quadcopter, or fly where I can't see anymore, all I should have to do is be able to hit that return to landing mode, and it should hopefully bring it back to me. I'm going to give myself a little more altitude here. That'll help with the range too. So we're about past 150 meters right now, because we went past the pylon. I can see the dry lake bed over there that we're heading toward. And the road also. Can I make it? I'm well past 200 meters right now. Still have good FPV reception. Still have control. Starting to lose FPV reception a bit there. Heading toward that lake. It wants to come back. Which is telling me that was the edge of its control range. Well, it's back and I have control again. And then it comes back again. So that software update did not seem to provide extended range like promised, as promised. Mainly being I'm right at the edge of the FPV range here. I got control again, trying to fly forward toward that lake bed there. And again, we're at about 250 meters right now, and it won't go any further. I'm full forward pitch. And it's just not going. It's when I let go of the pitch, it comes back. It comes back until it receives, appears to receive reception again from the transmitter, and then it enters hover. Let's try the return to landing. So I'm going to return to landing. I can still see FPV here. Maybe it's flying back on its own right now, but I'm clicking manually to return to landing mode and seeing what it does. I'm looking up right now just to verify that it is coming back. So in effect, there's the 4 minutes. I want to see how accurate this landing is. It lands by my timer. It's flying overhead. Its lights are blinking rapidly. No, they were blinking rapidly. Green, red, red. Well, I need to take control. We'll see here shortly. Let's see how accurate its landing is. Well, it's less than a meter from where it took off. It's almost actually dead on. Well, what did we learn today? Hold on, well, I still got some flight time. Let's get a little more flight out of this. Going back to normal. And this time I am going in altitude hold mode because I want to get some flight out of that. Oh no, I got a little bit of a red there. I think I got red. Let's go back to GPS. And I'm going to take my cap back from my wife. Thank you, my love. Let's see what we got here. We got red blinking lights. I'm not sure that's good or not. I'm going back to altitude hold. They stay red. They're staying red blinking lights, so I'm probably at the end of its flight time here. I'm in altitude hold mode right now. And I just want to fly it around until that battery does actually fail. I want to see what flight time we get. Again, it sounds like a jet again. But what did we learn today? Again, I tried to fly it out to 300 meters. It only made it to 250 meters. And that range extension mod that I did not seem to improve its range. It's just doing its standard advertised range of 250 meters. I'm not sure if I needed to also apply that range correction to the transmitter, or if it's possible to do that with a transmitter to improve the range. But I'm going to contact GearBest and also Flying 3D and see what else might be needed to improve its range. You know, with those blinking red lights, you do get a significant amount of extra flight time, more than advertised. I'm in altitude hold mode, and there's a wind. It doesn't seem to be drifting. I don't understand that. It should be blowing. You know, in altitude hold, you'd think it would be blowing with the wind, but there's a wind coming from that direction, and it seems to be crabbing into it to fight it from moving. Again, I'm in normal setting and altitude hold setting. So apparently, even though you're in altitude hold mode only, there is some GPS input in there. But again, supposedly if you were flying such an altitude hold, you know, what I did today, it would have just entered hover. When I was flying in this GPS mode, you know, I'd go out to the edge of of its range, then it would enter hover and start to fly backward until it picked up this controller again, and then I could have control again, and I'd try to go out again, and then it would go out of range, then it'd enter hover and fly backward again to my position, and it would just keep repeatedly doing that. So that's what it was doing while in GPS mode. Supposedly if you were in altitude hold mode, it would do this. It would just enter hover. But apparently, in altitude hold mode, it is definitely, there you go, that's the end of the battery. And it lands itself. That's what happens when you run it out in altitude hold mode until the battery dies. Now keep in mind, folks, I did not update the firmware of this. Here, I don't want to run the battery out until it's dead. But I did not update the firmware to this. All I did was update that software patch that's supposed to give extended range, and that's all I did. But other than that, you know, it's pretty darn nice what that did. You know, when you run out of power, excuse me, it did a controlled landing, a controlled soft landing. Other quadcopters could drop out of the sky. This one apparently does not. And that's the flight time. We found out what the flight time of this thing was today with a 1200 milliampere hour battery. So, interesting flight. Let me make sure I turn off that camera so I can have that recording. Again, you manually, I'm going to use a key, have to turn off the camera, which is a shame. That would have been nice if they would have included a remote ability. Am I pressing that button correctly? Yeah, there we go. And I'm back to solid red light. But again, you have to manually depress this little hole here, not the on-off switch, but this little it looks like a reset switch to the left of the on-off switch to turn on the camera and turn it off. So overall, really nice flight. Learned a lot today. Learned what this would do. I'm getting more confident in using this thing from now on. You know, I'm going to send it out in real far flights with it. I have no fear now of using this at all. I know what it's going to do. It's only going to make it out to about 250 meters. I'm going to also investigate whether I can improve that, get out that 300 or that range extension software patch, and try to find out why that didn't seem to work with it today. So I hope you enjoyed this flight. This Quadcopter 101. Again, this is the Flying 3D GPS Plus model. The Plus model. Signing out.